Hi, everyone. We are back for another week of exciting rehearsals. This week, we are celebrating Women's History Month, and that's the whole month, and this whole female panel where we're going to talk about the most influential women in our lives. And we will also find out what made Trish say.
But I've been posting about, let's make this a nostalgia weekend. Let's wear our old jackets. Let's do the whole thing.
And why Ashlee said,
yeah. It's interesting, like membership is like female, but then once you transition to staff, it's like the women just, they're not as present and prevalent in
all that and more. So get on out there to the field and we'll see you back on the sidelines for this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Welcome. I love the clapping. Welcome to another episode of season 2 of On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Nicole Younger. This week, it's just us ladies. Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. And yes, thank you, Trish. She knows the song. And there's nothing more to do than see who they are. So speaking of Trish, we have Trish.
Hi, everyone.
And we also have Emily.
What up?
What up? She's the shy one. And then we have Ashlee.
Hey.
If I could actually put us all into like little, like we literally all have our own little personalities, like literally, because Emily's the shy one. Trish is like, you give me, what is it? Bette Midler vibes.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
And then we have like, Ashlee's like, I like pink.
That's about right.
Like pink?
My headset's pink.
So today there's so many loyal listeners, so many of our loyal listeners, we've noticed a sort of formula with our show. So we call it the meat between the two slices of bread. And so we had our opening segment, which is catching up with everyone and meeting our guest clinician. And then we go into our gush and goes. And then in the middle, that's where we have our big interview or a roundtable. And then we ended with the news. So while we've been having a great time with all of this and this format, but it's like any good marching organization, we thought it may be time to shake things up a bit and change it around. So this episode is a bit like a preview. Okay, so basically we get rid of the meat. We're going vegan today. And now our interviews aren't going away, but they're just going to move to our YouTube channel and be the bonus podcast episodes. I stay on YouTube, y'all. Like I get home from work and I turn on YouTube. So this is perfect for me. I have friends, I promise. And but like I said, now our interviews are on YouTube, and so it's going to be exciting because then those will be in video. So those interviews will. So our new format we're calling On a Water Break in sectionals. So basically you're going to get to hear different groups of hosts with some familiar voices each week with our new format. The new format also takes all those great segments like Gush and Goes, What Are We Doing Next? And a few more yet to be revealed segments, and then gives you an episode. So we'll get to hear clips from our bonus episodes, and maybe even we'll have them as guest hosts. So we're gonna go ahead and start with our first segment, which would be our Gush and Go. So what do we want to gush and go?
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
I'm gonna get that right one day.
You got it, girl. You good.
So let's do our Gush and Goes. Trish, let's go with you.
Okay, so it's a weekend coming up this weekend that I have been waiting for since the main circuit schedule came out.
Oh,
For those of you old timers like me, there once upon a time was a WGI regional at the Dunn Sports Center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. Fast forward all these years later, there's a main show at the Dunn Sports Center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. So I will get to see my kids perform in the same gym that I performed in at regionals. I cannot wait. That moment, since it was on, I know Sunday shows are always a little bit tough, whatever, but I said, not that it was an issue because, we got approved right away, whatever, but I said, if I have to drag that floor from Old Japan to Elizabeth myself, we are going to that show because I need to have that moment of seeing my kids out on that floor. So I'm super excited. I'm kind of starting a little bit of a trend. I don't know if a lot of people are going to jump on board, but I've been posting about, let's make this a nostalgia weekend. Let's wear our old jackets. Let's do the whole thing. So hopefully there'll be pictures and sound bites coming from all of that. But and the show host is gracious enough, Elizabeth High School, to allow, get this, ready? Because it's a huge facility and not a huge, lineup in the show. A lot of people can't do Sunday shows, whatever. The show host is gracious enough to let the color guards sit on the front sideline to watch AMP.
Oh, wow.
So my kids are pumped that not only are they going to get to perform there, but they're going to get to see, the World M&M Open is there, that they can see the rest of the show from the front. They are so excited.
Oh, wow. That's going to be like life-changing for them.
I know.
To be for real
I
honest.
know.
And it seems like it's going to be a really like emotional weekend.
I know. Get the tissues ready.
I love that though. Bring those on. Bring those things on. Emily?
Yes. Gush and Goes. So this is like a two-parter here, but one, I finally finished my classes for winter quarter.
Ooh.
And the last 10 minutes of it was me presenting my hypothetical research proposal, which is basically me talking for 10 minutes straight about why people should participate in band ensembles. So we have that.
That's good. I mean, I think honestly, it's a great idea. I mean, it's helped me, and I think it helps a lot of other people too, to be for real honest. I mean, if all of us who were in these performing ensembles, think about if we didn't have it. We would be unhappy people.
Yes.
Extremely unhappy people. So, Ashlee, tell us about your Gush and Go.
My Gush and Go is that I am just coasting through the week, and it is almost the weekend. That's honestly the highlight of my week. I'm just going to be realistic about it because it's been a rough couple of weeks for me and my family and just everything. So it's almost the weekend. We just have a practice weekend, so there's no stress. The show's completely done, so we're just cleaning everything. Nothing makes me happier than cleaning. Color guard, not my house. We had a show last weekend, wasn't the best run, but this weekend we're just cleaning, solely cleaning for the show, and nothing makes me happier than a long cleaning block. So
yes,
okay.
Yes. It's something to be said about, or when people, like, we talk about, oh, I'm excited for this. And yes, Gush and Goes are, that's what we use this for. But at the same time, like, I would love for everyone to be as real with me as I am with them. And no, I'm not 100 all the time. And honestly, some days it is like a huge deal to get out of the bed, Yeah. And not to mention, like, there are times during the season, I don't want to say you hit a wall, but you kind of hit that proverbial wall and you're just like, I don't know if I need to get under it, go around it, go over it, but like I've hit it.
Break it.
Right.
Run into it a couple times and then go over it.
Kung Fu Panda through something. But I totally get you. Absolutely.
We got you, girl.
Yeah.
And being here tonight is just raising my spirits. So
Good.
See, if you got some stuff to say it around Trish, Emily, and I, because we're here to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Girl power.
Right. Oh, goodness. Where is the Spice Girls when you need them?
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
I love that gush and stay. Okay, ladies. So one of the biggest thing we're talking about is influential women in our lives. And it could be through guard. It could be through twirling. It could be through hornline. So that's what we're talking about right now. And Jeremy actually told us today, have one of those ready. So I felt like we all got put on the spot, though. But when we said that, or when I was saying that, and I was talking to Emily about it, what did you say, Emily?
Yeah, so I feel like such a horrible person, but my brain just went, I guess this is what happens when you're socially awkward and shy. Sometimes you're not sure of the mentors around you, but then it took me a hot minute and I thought about it. And then I said, wait a second, hang on, I think I might have something here. So sometimes it just takes a little bit, but yeah.
So you do, so you've dug deep and found someone.
Yes, I reached deep inside myself to think about female mentors to empower me into the future.
What a statement.
So I want to show you guys the t-shirt I'm wearing. It's the We Can Do It.
That's right.
So we can do it. Emily, this is literally, this whole time I've met you on here, it has been like your revelation.
Oh boy.
No, it's great. It's great. All right, Emily. So when we were preparing for all of this, and I remember us having a small little conversation, we stopped because it's content. But you said that it was kind of hard for you to find a female influence in the marching arts worlds. Can you go into that?
Yeah, no, I was just like, oh no, do I really not know anybody? Have I been living under a rock my entire life? I don't know. It's just made me thinking that it's just like, that's not like something we talk about a lot. And like, I know it's Women's History Month, but just like, I just think, for me, it just really like, oh gee, like I really haven't actually met a lot of female mentors or mentors in general. So.
Right. And then when you actually found out, like when you could put that together, like, were you like, oh, why didn't I think of that before? Or were you just like, oh, so, you know what I mean? Like, do those mentors like reveal themselves as mentors, or do they reveal themselves to you as like something else?
It's kind of strange because I feel like it's like when we talk about mentors, we usually think of like, a leadership figure, which is often, who our mentors are. But like for me personally, I've never really felt like I've had that in a way. Mm-hmm. I mean, part of it, it's like I'm just a shy, socially awkward person sometimes. And also to gain my trust, it usually takes a very, very long time. So,
right.
And just overall a lack of availability in women in mentor roles. Like, I think a lot of people, like maybe this is an experience all of y'all have had. Like, I'm not trying to say this to discredit the other people, but it's just like when we go out in the world, we usually always see not women mentors. And sometimes as a woman, that could feel a little bit lonely. And you're like, hey, where's the lady power?
Exactly. And, it does take a lot to dive in to see that, because I think because I want to dive into everyone's influential, like, person that they looked up to so much coming up in the activity. I really do want to dive into that because I know for probably, at least for me, my person was not, not like in a mentor role at that time. But yeah. So I think
it's interesting that, like, for me, when I think about color guard, I think about women, like that's like generally the stereotype. Mm-hmm. So then for us to not have many women mentors is like, sorry, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy.
I feel like it started with women and then it's just been kind of taken over or
Mhm.
so
When
weird.
I was being taught, when I first started, it was there were women teaching, just not a whole bunch. Like you
Right.
see a staff and it's like full of dudes, and then you have like one female. And that was
Right.
it.
It's interesting, like membership is like female, but then once you transition to staff, it's like the women just they're not as present and prevalent in
They're-
staff, which is so weird.
I feel like they're more behind the scenes now too.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
true.
Okay, so the ladies and I are going to make sure that everyone is ready for the big performance this weekend. And we'll be back to talk about the influential women in our lives.
Hey, this is Christine Ream.
And Chris Green.
Guard Closet was founded as a consignment business in 2000. Since then, it has grown to include winter guard, band, percussion, and other genres.
We can help you with custom flag and costuming designs.
Our consignment inventory has plenty of great looks for your color guard, drumline, and marching band.
Pay it forward. When you purchase consignment, you help other programs. Last year, we sold over 400 sets of consignments and returned over $125,000 in payments to our consigners for their sales.
Additionally, Guard Closet offers custom and pre-designed costumes, flags, floors, and formal wear, full or partial show writing, educational programming, and other services.
Max out your rehearsal time and set up a microsite for easy student ordering for shoes, gloves, and other equipment.
The Guard Closet team is here to help you get everything you want and need for your season. Check us out at guardcloset.com and follow us on social media.
Okay, so it's Women History Month, and we thought it might be fun and really lovely to get the women who've influenced us some flowers. So we're going to go around, we're going to talk about it, and we're going to ask ourselves about it. So, Ashlee, let's start with you.
Well, I feel like it might be a little cliche, but I'm gonna say my mama is my most influential. I mean,
That's
so
all right.
she, I mean, her and both my parents, they had a group when they were together, like before me and my brother even existed. So, like, they're the ones who've like got me inspired with marching arts and baton, and just really have given me so many opportunities to bloom into the performer and person and teacher that I am now. So I'm just really, really grateful that I have parents who are in the activity. They support it. They understand everything about it. So
Honestly, that is great to be to have your mom be there for you too. Was your mom a twirler?
she was. She actually, so little backstory. My parents met, like they knew of each other. My dad was in a corps they're both in Maryland. One's in Cecil County, Maryland. He was with the Blazers, and my mom was with a corps in Hartford County, Maryland, called the Bel Air Lads and Lasses. So they were like competing against each other before they actually got together, and that's like literally make a marching arts movie about my parents, because
That's so
we need a Hallmark
cute.
movie.
Oh my goodness. Okay. No. The day they make a Hallmark movie from marching band, I'll just have to be like, no, don't do it. All right, Trish.
Okay. I don't want to be like, the goody two shoes here, like understood the assignment and, came prepared, but I understood the assignment and I came prepared. So so I've had, and I just had this conversation with my brother recently, the most amazing instructors in my career, and they've all influenced who I am today. They all taught me that this is what I wanted to do at a young age. I followed through with it, and I'm there. So, I mean, I could shout, I'm going to speak about one in particular, but I mean, I could shout out, almost all of them, like Beth Calhoun, Sandy Birdsby, Sandy Birdsey, the list goes on, Josette, the list goes on and on, all the amazing women. The Libby sisters just had birthdays yesterday. They were influential. But the one that I think I'm the most proud that I've ever been in her presence, and she's not in good health now, so it's really important for me to do this while we still have her, is Peggy Twiggs.
Oh, absolutely.
She came into the Winter Guard that I was in a couple of times a year and like got us right. And she, she was just amazing. She was one of those people, she'd walk in the room, she'd be like, okay, that. She just would be able to fix things on the spot. And what many, many years later, when I marched in the Syracuse Brigadiers and when they were checking us on flag and they were like, all right, we're going to do Peggy spins. Everybody knows how to do Peggy spins, right? I was like, yes, I learned them from Peggy. And everybody was like, what? So she was inducted into the WGI Hall of Fame a few years back. And I found when I arrived from New Jersey into the Dayton airport, I found out that her flight had just gotten in, and it was a struggle health-wise for friends of hers to get her there. She's, for those of you who know, she's not in good health. She's kind of wheelchair bound and whatever, but they got her there for that. And when I found out that the plane from Boston had just landed at the same time I landed, I sprinted across the airport because I didn't know, which I ended up doing, but I didn't know the whole rest of the Dayton weekend if I was going to see her. So I wanted to see her, see if she remembered me. I wanted to congratulate her and thank her for everything she did. And she was just she was just beaming. She was lighting up. She did remember me, and it was so exciting. But yes, I did learn how to do Peggy spins from Peggy Twiggs.
From Peggy herself.
Yes. We had her on the podcast, the interview with Ann Fields, because she's not able to speak on her own.
Yeah.
And it was it's so good. So good. There's been many a times when I've had to give like an extra assignment to kids before, and they would have to write about somebody. I'd always give them Peggy Twigs and see what they would, see what they find and see how they come back to it.
That's very cool.
All right, Emily.
Okay, well, first of all, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing your female mentors. That's so wonderful, and I'm so glad you have it. And I don't want to derail this conversation, but this is gonna, now that I think about it, this is really sad. Now that I look back, I don't really think I had that at any point, or at least I'm not waiting. I'm still waiting on a mentor. I just, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think about it and oh, here's a thought. I feel like I've had many leaders in my life, but I don't think I've had a lot of mentors in my life. And I feel like the difference with that is the mentor kind of goes the extra mile to be there for you in your journey. And while I've had many leaders in my life, I don't really feel like I had any mentors yet.
Right. And I think it's going to be one of those people that influences you, or you just see them walk into a room and you're like, I want to walk like that, or you see them play and you're like, oh, I want to play like that, or I want to spin like that. It's one of those. Or it's just the people that spend a little bit more time on you because they believe in you and they have a little bit more faith than you do.
Aw.
And that's how, honestly, that's how I found mine, or how I look at this person. My influential person was my first flag tech. When I was in Revelation in Virginia. It was an A-class guard. It was my very first color guard that I was in. So there was this one section of the show where everyone spun weapon. Obviously, I did not know what that was at the time. So I got independent training time and tech time. And Amanda would be she volunteered as tribute to come and do that for me. But that also meant that she cleaned me count for count alone, by myself. And while I was yes, she's getting every little thing that I'm doing wrong, I was getting, slowly getting to the point where the rest of my the rest of the guard was, because everybody had been spinning for 7 years. And here's me 3 months cold, coming into this. But the thing about it was she just never, she had the patience. She never, got angry with me, even when I got angry with myself. And then she's just like, do you want to go on? Do you need a minute? And there's a lot that goes into, that time that she spent with me. I may not have brought it to the rest of my guards. And yes, I probably did. But I know that there's a lot of that I just bring into life. Sometimes, like we were talking earlier today, Ashlee, it's just like, hey, I'm getting through the week. Sometimes you need to just be like to yourself, hey, do you need a minute?
Yeah.
You good?
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's everyone's heard it. It's okay not to be okay. But you got to know when to say those things to yourself and how to get yourself back on it and keep going. So, Amanda Brooks, if you're listening, thank you. Okay, so everyone, we're running one more block, and Emily has to go to the low brass. So we'll be right back with What Are We Doing and the news.
Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and here are your announcements coming from the box. You want to drink up On a Water Break Lost in Translation with Cynthia Bernard, uncover the glitz and glamour of Twirlers with On a Water Break and Rhinestones hosted by Lexi Duda, get the insider scoop from the stands with On a Water Break from the stands with Cindy Berry, aka Leander Mama, and join the band family in On a Water Break family style with Stephanie Click, plus much more to come. Make sure to follow us on social media at On a Water Break for all the latest updates and bonus content. Got something to share or a burning question? Email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com. So don't be the person that doesn't tell their friends about a water break. Make sure everyone stays hydrated. Okay, field staff, take it away.
Let's reset.
Okay, everyone, we are starting a new segment this week. It's called Where We Go Off Against Something That's Been Bugging Us. I like to call it like what grinds your gears. If you are a Family Guy person, that's a reference. And basically, we just, talk about what's going on in the marching arts that bugs us. And then we call it What Are We Doing? All right?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
All right. So I'm going to go first in this What Are We Doing? And a lot of people know what side of, I guess you could say, the floor that I'm on. But I do want to bring back, or what are we doing by not having good banter? And when I mean by good banter, I mean in critique.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my biggest thing is you don't have to be a yes man. And when I say yes man, I'm talking about directors or staff members. You don't have to agree with everything I say. And honestly, challenge, this is going to sound as cliche as I'm going to say it, but challenge the status quo. Like, find out why. There's been a lot of instructors that I've sat down with, and it is, we're not talking to each other. I feel like I'm talking at someone. Maybe there's something that I missed in your show. Tell me about it. You know what I mean? Like, tell me a little bit more about this project or this production that you put on. Like, it's so different to hear someone talk about their show, and then you can just see things come alive because of the way they tell it, rather than, you having to dig around for things. That's what we do anyway when we're watching your kids perform. We're digging around, we're finding those nuggets, we're finding those points. But when we're in critique, like, fight for a little bit more and talk to me about something so I can, at least jog your memory as to, hey, that is a huge part of what you just said about your show. Make that more evident, that kind of thing. So yes, while you come in and you're very excited to meet us and meet your judges, like, get to the meat and potatoes of why you're in there, you know?
I could not agree more. And you're preaching to the choir over here, honey, because that's exactly what I do, number one. And number two, I just had a few situations last week and critique myself. So I
Yeah.
get it. I mean, I am mother hen, honey, for my kids in my program, and I'm going to fight for every tenth I can get. And in a positive and productive, professional way,
Exactly.
you could be professional about it. Nobody's in there. We don't do this to rip each other's heads off. We just don't.
Oh, no.
So, but, be professional and whatever, but,
Mhm.
you know, it's true. I mean, you have to have a conversation. You can't just, sit there and go, "Oh, you're right. I should change that part." Or you're right, because nothing drives me more crazy than when you come out, the next rehearsal and everybody's like, what so and so said is true. We should really no. No,
Right.
you don't have to change every single thing they said.
It's what you what we give out sometimes is just opinions, and actually it is, and opinions as it pertains to the sheets. But regardless, like, those instructors and those, the designers that are coming through and coming into us, like, just tell me more. Tell me more. Because as we get younger directors, we're still getting younger judges,
Right,
okay?
right,
And that just doesn't come to you. Like, you're not always, even as judges, we're not gonna have good critiques. I had a bad critique. And I did not like, "Oh, what were they talking about? Blah, blah, blah." No,
right,
thank you for giving me that critique because I want to be better. You
right,
want to be a better director. I want to be a better judge for all classes, not just like regional A and A, like open and world as well. So there's something we can all teach each other.
Yeah, I feel like it should be like a tear. It should be like a build up process rather than a tear down.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay. Who's next? Let's see. Trish.
Okay. What are we doing by not listening to this podcast and my whole I don't even know what to call it, theory on why can't your kids, when you wish them another team good luck, why
Still?
can they not say, "Thank you, you too"? Yes!
Oh my
Yes!
goodness. You know
Yes!
what? You
I'm gonna
know,
have I'm gonna have to get a T-shirt or something because
okay, you do. Or you have to get one of those big old pins that says, if I say good luck, you should say good luck too.
yeah,
And a huge one too, like super gaudy. And yeah, gone is the days of the I'm too good to talk to you. You
right,
know? Like, we need
right.
to stop that. That is a very toxic way to think and be in this activity. Yes, we all know them. We have all been like face to face with somebody who's like,
Yeah, I know.
it's like,
I know.
okay, great. I was going to tell you
Right,
how much I liked you, but I think I don't now.
right.
You know,
Exactly,
you
exactly,
know,
but it's all good. I
yeah.
mean, I just, maybe this weekend at the regional we'll have a big, at the Elizabeth show or wherever else we're going, WGI. Actually, maybe we can make this happen in Dayton. Maybe we can make this a thing in Dayton.
There's enough time to make pens.
It's plenty of
They need to
time.
design that for you.
Emily, yes, yes. Emily. Oh my gosh. She is the.
I can doodle many a thing.
You can. And I mean, honestly, it just should say thank you. Oh, say thank you. Okay. Or say good luck. I love that one. Woo, I got excited and got warm. Ashlee, what's up?
I feel like mine's a little bit controversial because I feel like we're seeing it more and more, especially this year. Like every single WGI clip I see that they post on their Instagram or whatever. Okay. I don't know who started it. I just think of AMP every time I think about it. The backdrops.
Okay.
I know.
I am not in love with the backdrops because I mean I get it, like enhances the production, whatever, but like I think about like my kids, if we're at a show and someone has backdrops and like, they sit in the back of the gym, and I know that's not
Right.
like quote important, but I feel like it is important because like those are the people that they look up to. They want to see the show. They're like really trying
They're
to
your future
be like
members.
them. Yeah. And then they
Yeah.
can't see anything. Like they're standing on the
I
very top
know.
of the bleachers because they can't see.
I know.
I feel you. And I think in order for us to get both parts, I'm going to play devil's advocate
Yeah.
on this. For those world-class guards, scholastic and independent, there's a lot of time you just look at what they're doing and it is designed for UD Arena.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and while like honestly you need those performers in those guards to make that production, worthwhile. That's what I look at, and see. And yes, I know they want to see, but honestly too, if one of those performers are behind a backdrop and they look at them and like wink or smile,
Yeah.
you would think that those kids could run the world the next day. Like I totally get that. Now being on the other end of that though, when I was first coming up in color guard and those backdrops, like we had like 16 of those PVC. You had to put them up real quick, and and then I was like he was agreeing. You had to put them up really quick, and you had 16 of them, and you still had a full size floor, and you had like 23 members. And not to mention, but Ashlee, they would tell you, okay, you exit on the right side of the floor, but 16 counts later, you need to come on the left side of the floor, because that actually happened to me. And I am telling you that, what is it, road runner mad dash to the other side of the floor, and someone's holding your flag for you, which you have enough time to like grab and, go out because it's during that time. Thank you. So I get both. I get all that. I get all those sides of that. And I think that, there were guards, like world guards, that I would run up to the top to see when I was in A class. I don't know. I mean, I get you. I feel you.
Yeah, I totally get it from a design perspective, and like I love that part of it. Like it adds depth and like all of that, but just from like I don't know, like I would love to. I feel like I see it everywhere. I feel like everyone's doing it, and it's just like
I really hope it's a trend
know.
that's not coming back for everyone, because I really do feel it's stylistic.
Yeah.
Like it works for some, not for all.
Yeah. And I always think about Mechanicsburg, that every 40-second show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that girl just came out from the right corner, but then she just came out with the left corner, and people are like taking them on all different sides. I'm like, this is crazy.
Behind the stage, is that behind the scenes?
Yeah,
is a little cuckoo.
It's cray.
But I get what you're saying though, because those kids are going to want to see all of that from the front at some point, and hopefully they will.
I hope so.
Awesome. All right. So guess what, y'all? We're getting into the news. Oh. All right, so I think our first person, Emily, you got news, right?
I do have some news. The WSU Pride of the Mountains Marching Band is performing in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day, and that also happens to be the band of one of our other hosts, which I think is really cool. And second of all, I've actually done this exact same tour with my own college band. So when I saw it, I'm like, wait a second, I know where that is. I know where they're going. I'll have to talk to Trevor about it. It's like, Trevor, tell me everything. I went on this trip too. It was actually kind of cool because when we went on our trip, we didn't have like a whole marching band. We didn't have the numbers for some reason. So we did an intercollegiate joint band, which was from 3 other schools, and we all kind of went as a cohesive Pacific Northwest Collegiate Marching Band. It's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. So the main event of that is that we get to perform in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. And, it's Ireland, so of course it's a big deal. Like, yeah, we kind of celebrate it here in the States a little bit. Wear green. No. The Irish, they know how to party. They're going to have such a great time. Speaking of funny stories, so this actually happened during the parade. So for some reason, it decided to rain right before the parade. And, I was just minding my own little marching band business where I stepped into a puddle and had to march the rest of the parade with a wet, soggy shoe.
Hey, you know what? At least it was a puddle and not the other thing.
Oh, why would you say that?
Because we've all stepped in it. I used to play baritone when I was in high school. And well, I know you had little phrases for when you were coming up on the patty,
Oh my gosh.
And then it's just like, ooh.
It was water, H2O.
We had a parade back in the fall where we're from Maryland, so we're 20 minutes from Delaware, 10 minutes from Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So we're very close to Amish territory. So the
Lots of
parade
horses.
was it was in Pennsylvania, very Amish, horses, buggies everywhere. So I had they're high schoolers, and we don't do a lot of parades, that have horses in them. So I designated myself as doo-doo duty.
Doo-doo
I was
duty?
on doo-doo duty.
Duty? Don't you mean duty? Okay, I'll stop.
All right, Ashlee, since you were giving us the duty. Go ahead with your story.
Yeah, so mine is another St. Patrick's Day parade. So Savannah, Georgia, they are having their 200th anniversary celebration of its beloved St. Patrick's Day parade. Savannah is one of the oldest. It is the oldest city in Georgia. So I'm reading, they have more than 18,000 hotel rooms in Savannah and the surrounding county that are sold out for the whole weekend.
Wow.
There's 230 pipe and drum bands, marching military units, all the floats and bars, and we're back to duty. They've rented more than 320 porta potties.
You really did give us the duty.
I did.
We're mature adults, totally. Mhm.
Totally.
Oh, that's awesome. Where's Jack? Where is Jack? All right, Trish.
Okay, well, there's a story at WGI.org. There's an interview with Lauren Teal, who is a percussion instructor. And it's just the perfect story for us to have on the podcast this week because it kind of goes back to us talking about women who inspired us in our marching arts careers. And she talks about, all the women that came before her as a, female percussionist. And, she was really inspired by Sandy Rennick, who is, works with Santa Clara Vanguard and the Troopers and all these great places that, she just learned so much from her. She said she kind of was the reason why she went into music ed. She originally did music performance, and it's just a really great story. And if you want to check it out on WGI.org, it's a perfect story for Women's History Month and talking about women in percussion. And it's just really great. So check it out if you have time.
Sounds like we need to get her on an interview.
Oh,
totally.
I would love that. I've seen she's one of those people that are Annie Riddick, at least. I see the name a lot, and
Yeah.
I know and her husband is a little bit, is an icon as well, because
Right.
the both of them working together and sometimes apart, but
Right.
you do hear a lot about them. So I'd love to
Yeah.
hear that story
Yeah, that'd be
about
cool.
how she did. I guess is it my turn to do a story? Can I do a story?
It's your turn.
All right. So with this one, this is on the DCI Drum Corps page. It's 12 things you might not know about 2023's top 12. So it just dives deeper into everyone's show. Now, if you are like me and you go and you watch a movie and you're like, I want to know more about this or more about that. And then you go onto YouTube and you start going down your little rabbit hole. Okay. That's how I am with, if I like a movie enough, I'm going to do that. So a lot of times with these, like the world class shows, especially the top 12, there's a lot going on in them, which you could actually like figure that out with. The first one they do is Blue Devils, the cutouts. So it's basically wrapped around the late life work of Matisse. Okay. And then how he had this huge debilitating disease, and he still persevered through it, creating this entirely new art form. And then he had a work that he did, and they just remade it on the field. Again, one of those things that you wouldn't really know about unless you like took that deep dive into it. And this could play on your propensities or your favorite things. Like with Blue Coats have always had this thing about Bon Iver, and I love Bon Iver. And so with that year's show in the Garden of Love, they played 45, which was an opener, and it had different solos and solis. The music coordinator for 2023 was Matt Jordan, and he pointed it out that the first section of that movement performed without a set tempo at all. Exactly. So the only thing I can think of is like, it's hard enough to do that, during a winter guard season, but to do that outdoors with horns and drums and, everyone out on the field, that's so much trust that you have in the other performers around you. And not to mention that's so much trust that the designers have in the performers too. So there's a lot going on in there. But they go all the way down, like I said, the top 12. And it's something great to like point out, because it actually, you read this little synopsis that they have, and literally under each one, there's probably like the max of 6 sentences. And then go back and watch the actual show.
Right.
And you're like, oh, okay, this makes sense now.
Wake up, y'all's new DCI lore just dropped.
DCI lore just dropped? Is that what this is?
Lore!
Emily. So it goes down through all of them. So like what I suggest you do is go ahead and go to dci.org, and it's in the news section. Go figure. We're doing the news. And take a look at it. Read, the synopsis that they have, and then go back. Oh, I do want to talk about this one really quick. The Carolina Crown Show, the round table? Okay. So it's really small, but I'm going to read the synopsis of that. So it says, well, it's not a synopsis, but you get what I'm saying. But what comes first, the chicken or the egg? For Carolina Crown, more specifically the Crown set, an iconic drill form featured in most Carolina Crown productions, in which the Corps often completes its program in the shape of its emblem on the field. So according to the program coordinator, Rick Subel, that drill formation got the ball running on an ideation of the Corps of their 2023 production, so which it focused on medieval legend of King Arthur. So how can we build upon something that's like that? He said, it all fell into place throughout the 2023 DCI tour. Like the discussion of Crown set became a will they or won't they like waiting game until the first appearance on the field in DCI Eastern. They first put it on the field during Allentown. So
they did.
Yeah. And so it's something that you can actually go back and think about. And honestly, too, if you really follow these cores, closely, like I always look for the Crown. You know what I mean?
It was definitely DCI East weekend, because I ran into Jeff Sacklick in the park before Crown performed by Michelle Owens Tree, another topic for another day. And I said to him, I'm so excited to see the court tonight, but you got to tell me, is the Crown in? And he said, the Crown is in. He ripped out his phone and showed me the pieware of the Crown before I got to see it on the field. So I was excited. Yep. It's
I
cool.
love that. It's just like,
Yeah.
excuse me, I've got to sit down for this.
Right. It was like,
Get out of my way.
It was like, oh wait, here, I'll show it to you right now. And it was so cool.
Oh, I love that. But so yeah, guys, go check it out. It's a fun read. So well, ladies, this was a great all-female rehearsal. We have one more. Woo, child. Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
So tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Oh my gosh, yes. So we got one more Women's History Month show that's for next week. And there's a super cool special guest, so please don't miss that. I just want to thank everyone for rehearsal this week, especially our other host, Emily, the quiet one, Trish, Bet, and Ashlee. I like pink. And one more thing, please don't forget, we have our YouTube channel now that has so many of our interviews that are coming out in the full edition. So go and subscribe so you don't miss out on those. So before you close out of your podcast listening app, 1, go subscribe. 2, write us a review. Who's your favorite host? Who's your favorite person that's on here? Let us know, and let us know why. Share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Reams. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.